Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2008 Chinese-US fantasy and action movie called The Forbidden Kingdom. The movie begins with a teenager from Boston called Jason Tripitakas, who is a diehard fan of Chinese martial arts films and collects a lot of posters of them. Because of that, he usually goes to a Luyan's pawn shop owned by an old Chinese man, Hop, to buy more movies for his collection. While choosing the DVDs, Jason suddenly spots a storage room where artifacts are being kept and is interested in a golden staff lying on the floor. Hop explains that the staff has been there since his grandfather opened that shop, which was 100 years ago. He also adds that his grandfather has been waiting for a man to come pick it up to return it to the rightful owner, but the man never came. Jason recognizes the staff and claims that he has seen it before, but Hop ignores him and escorts him out of the storage room, offering Jason 5 Bruce Lee movies for a very low price. On his way home, Jason passes across several chicks from the school and has a conversation with them, but suddenly, a street gang confronts him and starts bullying him for being a fan of Kung Fu. Realizing that Jason hangs out with Hop, who cashes checks in his pawn shop, the street gang then plans to earn some illegal money by robbing Hop. Later, Jason is forced to knock on the door even though it is late and the shop is closed. Hop allows him to come in because he thinks Jason is going to buy something. The street gang leader starts to harass Hop and asks where he keeps all the money, but he does not answer. When the gang searches for the money, Hop takes the golden staff and hits one of the gang members with it, but unfortunately, the gang leader shoots him in the chest. The dying Hop hands over the staff to Jason and orders him to return it to the rightful owner. The gang chases Jason into the street, then up to the roof. Jason is cornered on the rooftop and the gang leader is about to pull the trigger when the staff magically yanks Jason away, causing him to fall down and faint. When he wakes up, he finds himself dressing like ancient China people and discovers that he is now in an ancient village in China. A few moments later, armored soldiers arrive at the village and start attacking the people ruthlessly. Jason attempts to run away, but then is spotted by the soldiers and they start chasing him. The soldiers recognize the staff and attempt to take it away from him, but luckily he is saved by Luyan, a drunk man who turns out to be a very skillful fighter. Even in his drunk state, he manages to defeat all the soldiers with his kung fu skills. Magically, this ancient man Luyan understands English and brings Jason away. Luyan tells Jason that he comes through the gate of no gate because he carries something very special, which is the golden staff. Luyan then reveals a story about the rivalry between the Monkey King and the Jade Warlord. The staff belongs to Monkey King and must be returned to him to end the reign of Jade Warlord. The Monkey King was once unstoppable and managed to defeat all the Jade army. Once every 500 years, the Jade Emperor hosts an event where the elixir of immortality is being shared. Suddenly, the Monkey King came uninvited and made the Jade Warlord furious. He demanded that the Monkey King bow down to him, but got played instead. The furious Jade Warlord then challenges him to a duel to prove who was the strongest. After several attempts, even after using his magic spells, the Jade Warlord realized that he couldn't beat the Monkey King with his staff. He then tricked the Monkey King to put his staff away and battle him fist against fist. The overconfident Monkey King agreed to do so, but then the Jade Warlord casted his spell, causing the Monkey King to transform into a stone statue. However, the Monkey King managed to cast his staff out of the kingdom so it wouldn't be taken. Since then, the Monkey King waits frozen in stone until his staff is returned. Luyan states that the only way for Jason to get home is to hand over the staff to the Monkey King and free him. After finishing the story, they are confronted by the soldiers again and are forced to hand the staff over. Jason refuses to obey, so the soldiers attack him. Luyan is the hero again in this fight, but this time, they work together to eliminate the soldiers while Luyan teaches Jason how to use the staff. When they are cornered, a girl called Golden Sparrow helps them, and all of them manage to escape from the army through the forest with the stolen horses. Luyan is not coming with them as the journey to Five Element Mountains crosses deserts, where he can't get any wine there. He claims that wine is his source of power and without it, he is nothing. Not letting Luyan go away, Jason asks Luyan to teach him Kung Fu. He starts his first training by swinging the staff around the grass. On the other side, the Jade Warlord is informed about the staff's appearance in the kingdom area. The next day, Jason wakes up and cannot find either Luyan or the Golden Sparrow nearby. Suddenly, a monk riding a white horse attacks him and steals the staff. The group chases him and they arrive at a temple. Luyan goes in alone and fights the monk in the temple after being ignored. Turns out that the silent monk is also an unbelievable fighter as his kung fu skills match Luyan's. Both of them attempt to retrieve the staff. Even the monk shows off his praying mantis skill and Luyan fights back with crouching tiger move. After a very long and exhaustive fight, the staff eventually is thrown away and Jason manages to take it back. After the fight, the monk reveals that he is on a mission to find the seeker of the staff and figures out that Jason is the man he has been looking for, which makes him surprised and suddenly laughing like a madman. The monk joins the team and they continue their journey to the mountain. The witch starts to interrogate the shop owner previously visited by Luyan and Jason to find their whereabouts. As they travel to the mountain, Luyan and the monk decide to teach Jason kung fu along the way. But it seems like Jason still needs a lot of practice as he is easily beaten by his teachers. Time flies and Jason keeps practicing very hard in order to be a better version of himself. One day, when the Golden Sparrow is asked about her parents, she reveals that her father was once a government official who opposed the warlord. Because of that, the warlord dispatched his soldiers to eliminate the people who were against him. One of them was her parents. She wants revenge for the death of her parents and all the villages the warlord destroyed. She is confident because she is equipped with a jade dart that can kill an immortal being. They finally arrive at the desert and start walking through it. They decide to stop and rest in a cave to wait out a windstorm. The next day, they continue their journey and they are already lacking water. Because he claims himself to be a Taoist immortal, the monk challenges him to make a rain. While he attempts the incantation with his eyes closed, suddenly a tiny rain occurs and he thinks his effort is successful. Turns out that it is the monk who gets on a rock above him and urinates on his head. The monk then sees the end of the desert from his vantage point on the top of the rock. After crossing the desert, they are confronted by the witch and her army. She offers to take Jason back home in exchange for the staff, but he refuses. She also reveals that the warlord promises her the elixir of immortality if she delivers the weapon. Therefore, she orders her soldiers to attack the group. They manage to defeat several of her soldiers, but the soldiers keep coming, so they decide to flee towards the mountain. As they escape, the witch fires an arrow which hits Luyan in the back, causing him to fall down from the horse and is badly injured. They decide to take refuge in a monastery, where Jason learns that Lu is not immortal as he claimed to be. Luyan tells Jason that he didn't pass the task to be immortal. The man says that the only way to save Luyan from dying is by consuming the elixir of immortality. To reach it, Jason must cross the border of heaven and earth and face the entire Jade army. The monk says that there is another way, but they have to wait for 2 days when there will be no moon. Jason rejects the monk's suggestion and says that they have to go now in order to save Luyan. The next day, Jason decides to go to the Jade Palace alone. He eventually reaches the gate of the palace and the army allows him to get in after lifting up the golden staff. Jason offers to give the golden staff to the warlord in exchange for the elixir, but since there is only one elixir and the witch is also aiming for it, he suggests that the witch and Jason should do a duel. Jason is no match to the witch and she manages to defeat him easily. She then passes the golden staff to the warlord. Just before he gets beheaded by the army, the monk, the Golden Sparrow, and army from the monastery arrive and join the fights. The situation in the palace hall becomes chaotic and everyone starts fighting. On the other side, the warlord transforms the fountain into a sea of fire and throws the staff there. Luckily, the monk manages to grab the staff in time and fights the warlord. While the Golden Sparrow is distracting the witch, Jason manages to take the elixir and passes it to Luyan. He then drinks the elixir and is revived immediately. Luyan battles the witch while the monk is still struggling with the warlord. Eventually, the monk manages to hand over the staff to Jason and he uses it to break the Monkey King free. It turns out that the monk is actually the Monkey King's clone as he turns into a strand of his hair. When the Monkey King is fighting the warlord, the Golden Sparrow appears and attempts to kill the warlord with the jade dart, but he casts his spell and kills the orphan girl instantly. Jason grabs the jade dart and finally stabs the warlord with it, which kills him before he falls into the hellfire pit. On the other side, after a very intense fight, Luyan manages to defeat the witch and throws her off the edge of the balcony. After the battle, the Jade Emperor returns from his 500 years of meditation and praises Jason for fulfilling the prophecy. He asks the Jade Emperor to revive the Golden Sparrow, but he refuses as she already wrote her own destiny. He then hugs his teacher for the last time and is sent back to Boston. He wakes up on the pavement where he fell from the roof. The gang comes down to attack him, but this time he is stronger and defeats the gang leader easily. Hope survives the gunshot and whispers to Jason, "Of course I live, I'm immortal," before he is taken into the ambulance. Jason also meets a girl who looks exactly like the Golden Sparrow. She compliments him on being very brave and she works at the shop across the street named the Golden Sparrow. At the end of the movie, Jason decides to keep practicing Kung Fu and improves his fighting skill. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.